Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. To those who come from the first time, um, I hope this video won't offend anybody. You have to be careful as usual. And that video, because I think I have so much to talk, I think I will have to have another one later. Wow, okay. I will try to not having too many. Okay. So let's go straight to the point because I was about to share with you a book for World Book Days. And this time I will talk about an African author that marked me a lot. And there are many authors, of course, from Africa that I've read, but that one I want to talk about him because of a debate that I saw, not a debate, but a conversation a podcast that I saw, and I found it would be interesting to discuss the subject at the same time. And maybe you will say, oh, you talk about that every time. It's just normal because, we have the effect of that still today. I keep talking about it because it's still relevant today for me, for where I come from the people like me. No idea of victimization here. I'm not a victim. I'm just explaining some stuff that are real and true. Before I get into that book I want to share with you. Okay, few weeks, I think last month, let's say last month, I fell into a podcast, and the podcast was between a Black American host, and the other one was a Black African. They talk about the same discussion we have again and again. And I think it's interesting that people are talking about it because it's still relevant. And then something that the host say that marked me. He said, "Okay, you are African, and you understand that." He says something like, "Yeah, because slavery was worse than colonization." And when he said that, I was like, "Okay, I think he doesn't know what colonization was. He doesn't know what the impact of colonization until today for Africa." And I understand where he was coming from because um, he didn't know. He just doesn't know. And unfortunately, the African celebrity who was with him didn't explain to him enough, I guess. I don't know. And I used this video to talk about it. I didn't gather information today, fortunately, but I will try to speak what I know, my own knowledge. And I hope I'm not going to mislead anyone or make, it's always good to fact check everything. But I know some stuff I've been reading and reading. So, how is it that for him, slavery is worse than colonization? I will say no. It was the same thing. It was the same thing in terms of, if you want to talk in the physical aspect, both were brutal, both were very difficult, and both were traumatizing. Okay, colonization, slavery, the thing was the same. It was brutal in every aspect of the world, and it wasn't something that you could say, "Oh, I'm gonna forget it." No, it's thing that were very difficult for the people like me. Okay, so as a Black woman from Africa, when I wasn't born. How can I explain that? In the place in Africa, I don't know if we can say that slavery didn't happen in a way that it happened in the island or in America, in the American continent, because American continent is a big continent, okay? You have Brazil, you have Colombia, where black people were sent everywhere, and you have the United States also. As a black person of Africa, yes, I feel the connection with the pain in a way that I understand. When you take me to the history book, I don't need too much explanation. I understand what it means. I understand the pain. Maybe not like completely, but that feeling of being used and humiliated in a way, I understand it. And I completely understand, and it hurt me. It hurt my heart the same way, because I'm black too. And I'm African, where everything started from. Now, can other people understand colonization the same way? I don't know. And I think probably, but judged by what the host say as an American, I can tell he didn't know what colonization is. Okay, maybe he take it lightly, and I think there are many in the diaspora who probably feel like him, who think like him that no, it wasn't the same thing. But I'm telling you, colonization was horrible. I give you simple example. Now, if you feel like colonization was less than slavery, then I will ask you to probably read a little bit more about the War of Algeria. Okay, if it was that fun, it was that easy, maybe you can read the book about the War of Algeria. Maybe you can ask to Algerians how bloody was the war when Algeria didn't want France, anymore in their territories, and how France was shocked that, oh, so you want to get rid of us like that? You want to kick us out? You have to know how the war of Algeria was. It was horrible. Algeria was like, we don't want any colonization anymore. Okay, you can ask probably Algerian to tell you the history of the war of Algeria and how France came back very hard on Black Africans, sub-Saharan. Now, another example. You probably heard about the Republic Democratic of Congo that was under was a possession, we don't know how, of the King of Belgium. At the time was Leopold. Leopold II, something like that, Leopold, the Belgium. If you want to know what happened, you can ask Congolese too. They will tell you how they were cutting their hands, okay, arm hands, for when they asked a certain amount of stuff to bring to the colonizer, okay, and if they didn't bring a certain amount of the goods they were asking from kids, even from, and usually also you have torture also, physical torture. So torture wasn't only physical. You have also situation of colonizer who are taking women, wife of the colonized, the humiliation of a black African. Sometimes they were parading with two black women almost naked because the tradition, the clothing, maybe you can read about that. If you know more about, I'm not looking to create anger, but just to know your history, to know the history of everything before stating things that we don't necessarily know or assume.